The day was ordinary, with the sun shining brightly as my friend set up his camp in the woods. It was an average summer's day, the kind that invites adventure and exploration. My friend, an avid outdoorsman, had his backpack and tent ready. He busied himself with the tasks at hand, setting up his tent and gathering firewood for the night ahead. The woods were alive, birds chirping in the distance, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves. He found comfort in the simplicity of it all, the solitude, the connection with nature. As the day progressed, he settled down with a novel, losing himself in its pages. But as he read, he felt a chill creep in, the sky turning an unexpected shade of grey. The weather report had promised sunshine for days, but reality painted a different picture. Undeterred, he retreated into his tent, seeking shelter from the impending rain. He was lulled into sleep by the patter of rain on his tent, oblivious to what the night had in store. An eerie noise like footsteps jolted him awake in the middle of the night. The sudden intrusion of this unfamiliar sound in the tranquil woods left him baffled and unnerved. His heart pounded in his chest as a cold wave of fear washed over him. As he unzipped his tent, a chilling sight met his eyes. The ground around his campsite was littered with lifeless birds, their eyes vacant and cold. The sight was as inexplicable as it was horrifying. The birds had been chirping merrily just hours ago. The unsettling discovery made his decision for him. He had to leave this place, but fear had him in its icy grip. The thought of stepping outside, into the unknown, was terrifying. He felt like a mouse cornered by a cat, fear laced with a desperate need to survive. Gripping his knife and torch, he took a deep breath and stepped outside, ready to face whatever was out there. The woods were unnaturally quiet. The only sound was the rustling of the bushes and an eerie singing that seemed to echo from all around. The melody was haunting, a siren's song in the heart of the wilderness. It twisted in the air, a chilling lullaby that set his nerves on edge. Each note seemed to vibrate through him, resonating with a fear he had never known before. He could hear footsteps again, crunching on the forest floor, growing louder with each passing second. The singing continued, a steady cadence that seemed to be drawing nearer. Paralyzed by fear, he felt his heart race, thudding painfully against his ribs. His palms were slick with sweat as he gripped his knife tighter, the cold steel offering some semblance of comfort. A decision was made. He couldn't stay. He had to leave. Abandoning his belongings, he turned and ran. His fear gave him wings and he sprinted, the sound of footsteps and that terrible singing echoing in his ears. His heart pounded in his chest as he dashed through the woods, the haunting melody following him. Exhausted and panting, he finally emerged from the woods onto a main road. His heart still pounded like a drum in his chest, but the open space of the road offered a small shred of comfort. He had escaped the oppressive darkness of the woods. Relief washed over him like a cool summer rain, diluting the adrenaline that had fueled his flight. But he couldn't shake off the eerie melody that still rang in his ears. He needed to put more distance between himself and those woods. He decided to hitch a ride. He stuck out a shaky hand, thumb up, a universal symbol of a traveler in need. As he watched the approaching car, a sense of apprehension began to gnaw at his insides. He tried to shake off the feeling, reminding himself that he was out of the woods. He was safe now. But as the car pulled up, the windows rolled down. His relief turned into horror as he realized the old man in the car was humming the same tune that had echoed in the woods. The old man's singing sent chills down his spine. The eerie melody was the same one that haunted him in the woods. As the familiar tune reached his ears, a wave of cold dread washed over him. His heart pounded in his chest like a wild drum, each beat echoing the chilling notes of the song. His mind raced, connecting the dots in a terrifying realization. The song, the dead birds, the footsteps in the woods, they all pointed to one thing, the old man. But what was his connection to the woods? Was he the one who had left the forest bereft of life, who had sung the haunting melody in the darkness? His fear, however, was replaced by a sense of uncertainty. Questions swarmed his mind, each more unsettling than the last. As he sank into the car's seat, he felt the weight of the unknown pressing down on him. As the car drove off into the night, the singing fading into the distance, one couldn't help but wonder, who was that old man, and what was his connection to the haunting melody in the woods?